The William J. Brennan Jr. Award recognizes a DC Bar member who has shown extraordinary commitment to and achievement in pursuing equal justice and opportunity for all Americans. The 2025 recipient of the William J. Brennan Jr. Award is Nkechi Taifa, founder, principal, and CEO of the Taifa Group, LLC. Nkechi Taifa has distinguished herself through decades of impactful advocacy, scholarship, and leadership. Her work has been transformative in advancing civil rights and criminal justice reform, advocating for broader equity initiatives such as DC statehood and championing the cause of reparations. Ms. Taifa was commissioner and chair of the DC Commission on Human Rights from 2007 to 2014, and since 2018 has served on the board of the DC Corrections Information Council, an independent monitoring body that oversees the conditions of district residents imprisoned by the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the DC Department of Corrections, and their partners. Ms. Taifa served as advocacy director for criminal justice at the Open Society Foundations and Open Society Policy Center from 2002 to 2018, focusing on the issues of sentencing, law enforcement and prison reform, reentry, executive clemency, and racial justice. While at Open Society, Ms. Taifa founded the Justice Roundtable, a broad-based coalition of more than 100 organizations working to reform federal criminal justice laws and policies. As convener of the Justice Roundtable, she was a leading advocate for passage of both the Federal Second Chance Act in 2008 and the Fair Sentencing Act in 2010. From 1995 to 2002, Ms. Taifa managed the Equal Justice Program at Howard University School of Law, where she also directed the law school's externship program and taught as an adjunct professor at both Howard and American University Washington College of Law. Ms. Taifa has been a principal player in the reparations movement for more than 40 years. In 2021, Ms. Taifa founded the Reparation Education Project, which supports reparatory justice initiatives through presentations and trainings to nonprofit organizations, federal, state, and municipal governments, educational and religious institutions, businesses, and more.
My name is Jesselyn McCurdy, and I'm the Executive Vice President of Government Affairs at the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. On my first day as Legislative Counsel in the ACLU's Washington Legislative Office in 2003, my boss, Laura Murphy, met with me and said, "The first person you have to meet is Nkechi Taifa. She runs the Justice Roundtable and leads criminal justice advocacy here in DC." And boy, was she right. My life hasn't been the same since. When I met Nkechi, she in turn introduced me to the world of criminal justice advocacy in DC and on the Hill. Nkechi and I quickly became what we call each other to this day, partners in crime, and we have led many successful efforts to reform the federal criminal justice system, beginning with testifying before the U.S. Sentencing Commission in 2007 and advocating for the commission to change the crack powder cocaine sentencing guidelines, which led to almost 40,000 people having their sentence reduced and many of them being released from prison. We immediately began working with the White House under President Obama to review cases of people who were serving long draconian drug sentences in order for him to consider granting them clemency. In what ended up with President Obama commuting the sentence of 1,750 people, more than 500 of those had life without parole sentences and would have died in prison. A few years ago, when Nkechi semi-retired, I remember thinking back on her career and life and saying she has literally changed and saved the lives of so many people. And that is the ultimate legacy that anyone would want to leave. And tonight's William J. Brennan Award is just another recognition of Nkechi's legacy.
Congratulations to Nkechi Taifa.
President Sean Snyder, incoming President Sadina Matana, President-elect Diane Sofa, and all the phenomenal 2025 DC Bar Annual Awards winners, the Brennan Award Selection Committee, my dear Solace sisters, and particularly my ride or die partner in crime, Jesselyn McCurdy. Thank you all. I am deeply honored and, truth to be told, a bit surprised as I accept this incredible honor, the DC Bar's William J. Brennan Jr. Award. I say surprised not because I doubt the incredible work I've achieved over the past 40 years as an attorney, but because my path has never followed the traditional mold, and I've not exactly been known for coloring inside the lines. I spent my entire career agitating for change, sometimes with a pen, sometimes with a bullhorn. Indeed, I've always felt that I was a freedom fighter disguised as a lawyer. Or maybe a lawyer disguised as a freedom fighter. Either way, I've used the law not as a ladder into the system, but as a lever to shake it, to shift it, and open doors that were never meant to be open for some. So, to be recognized by the DC Bar, the largest unified bar in the United States, is awesome. And humbling. Especially in a time when civil rights, human rights, and even history itself are under siege. This award does not just honor me. I stand here today because of so many who came before me, countless warrior lawyers who are now ancestors, whose feet I sat at, and whose shoulders that I stand upon. And I salute the Brennan and Marshall Award recipients who preceded me, and everyone in this room, thank you. I worked at the Washington Office on Africa during the anti-apartheid movement by day while attending George Washington Law School by night. I litigated large-scale class action lawsuits with the National Prison Project. I hung out my own shingle and was inside courtrooms every day as a CJA attorney. I served as co-counsel on groundbreaking civil action lawsuits. I advanced issues with the Women's Legal Defense Fund, testified before Congress as an ACLU policy counsel, mentored students at Howard Law School, mobilized the Justice Roundtable at the Open Society Foundation, which helped lead the charge on the Second Chance Reentry Bill, the crack versus powder cocaine disparity issue, and rallied to advance the issue of clemency. And today, in domestic and international arenas, advocating for reparations. I have always seen the law as a tool, not just for reform, but for liberatory transformation. Colleagues, let's be real. I know what it means to be told to tone down. I know what it means to walk into rooms wearing an adopted African name, cultural attire, and radical ideals are met with raised eyebrows. But I also know that justice has never moved by comfort. It moves because people, many of them lawyers, were willing to speak hard truths in sacred spaces. And I am proud to be part of that tradition. I accept this award not as a closing chapter upon my 7th decade. Yeah, 7th decade. But as a milestone along a lifelong path. I may have an AARP card, but trust me, I'm not out to pasture yet. I will continue to mentor, write, teach, and agitate for as long as I have breath. For me, this award is a deep commitment to freedom, to fairness, to truth-telling, and to the future. And to all the young attorneys out there, I want you to know that there is room for you in this profession exactly as you are. And we need you now. We need you now more than ever. We are living in challenging times, and I don't want you to despair. I don't want you to give up hope. What I want you to do is to remember the words of the incredible Harriet Tubman. Yes, Harriet Tubman, who led her people out of enslavement. She simply said, keep going. If you hear the dogs, she demanded, keep going. If you see the torches in the woods, she said, keep going. If they're shouting after you, keep going. Don't ever stop. If you feel tired, keep going. If you feel you've lost all hope, keep going. If you feel the system is stacked against you, you gotta keep moving. You gotta keep going. You can't stop. If you want to be a partner in a law firm, keep going. If you want to be a judge, keep going. If you want to be a movement lawyer, keep going. If you want to practice law in the public interest, keep going. If you want to have some victories in your cases, keep going. If you need some healing in your life, keep going. And if you want some justice, and if you want some peace, keep going, keep going, keep going. Thank you, DC Bar. Thank you for seeing me, for seeing all of me. Thank you for acknowledging a legal journey that does not always look traditional, but is nevertheless rooted in truth, in equity, and justice. I am honored beyond words, and I dedicate this moment to all the justice seekers, past, present, and yet to come. Ashe, 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 oh, thank you very much.
Congratulations again, Nkechi. And so one of the joys of being bar president is not only do you get to select the award winners, you get to let them know that they won. And so I called Nkechi, but she was on travel, and so I left a wonderfully cryptic message. I said, this is the DC bar president, I need you to call me back. And it was about 45 seconds later, my phone rang, and I got to give her the good news. But so there are some perks to being president of the mandatory bar. People may not call me back tomorrow, but once again, let's give a big round of applause to our incredible award recipients.